Alright, welcome to Tribulation 515, 2011. My friends, we have reached day 786. Today is July 9th, 2013. And my friends, there are 51 flavors and counting. Hey, tomorrow, July 10th, is my birthday. I'll be turning 51 years of age. So today, that's kind of what I want to focus on, is the number 51. But you know, the chaos and the world continues to spiral downwards. You know, if this is your first time visiting this channel, that means your eyes have been opened to the tribulation that is literally unfolding right in front of our very eyes. And this blog is my personal witness and testimony to that tribulation. So, I got a whole bunch of stuff on 51. We're just going to try and rip on through it. Today, one of the headlines on the websites out there is Heather Locklear looks fantastic at age 51. She's one of those pinup girls. She's been in a lot of TV shows. But at age 51, man, she hasn't missed a beat. She's looking great. And you know what? I'm turning 51, and despite a couple of injuries, I burnt my foot at the beach. I got this nasty cut on my pinky yesterday. But other than that, I feel pretty good. You know, the other big headline for 51 is over in Egypt. All hell is breaking loose, but 51 people died yesterday. 400 were injured. I think they had video on YouTube of these people being tossed off of the top of the rooftops over there in Cairo. And I do believe it was the Muslim Brotherhood tossing these people off the rooftops. So, you know, yeah, the killing fields, you know, they're out there. They've been out there. You know, more Christians are being killed than anything else nowadays, you know. Another interesting note, this doesn't actually have anything to do with 51, but I was just looking at the Drudge Report, getting the headlines, but there was a advertisement which had the pyramid with the all-seeing eye in it, and it said, Glenn Beck's new book, The Eye of Moloch, is coming out. But back to 51. You know, there's Area 51 out there in the southwest of the United States, where there's been just an extreme heat wave. But Area 51, where the aliens supposedly landed. Baskin Robbins has 51 flavors and counting. They were formed in 1945 as the Huntington Ice Company. Hunting, a hunter. By 1953, they came up with the official slogan, 31 flavors, which was 3 more flavors than the 28 flavors that were being served at the Howard Johnson's ice cream stores. And actually, it was in 1962. That's the connection, you know. I was born in 1962. I'm turning 51. So, in 1962, they officially changed their name from the Huntington Ice Company to Baskin Robbins. So that was 51 years ago. And even the name, Baskin Robbins, like basking in what? Robbing what? You know. Couple of other notes. You know, I'm going to kind of divert to the Bible for a minute. You know, I try not to get overly religious on this particular channel, but being that my birthday is on the horizon, I'm just going to take a liberty here, so bear with me. There's Luke chapter 11, verse 51, and it shall be required of this generation. It's talking about the blood of the prophets and a sacrifice. And then there's Acts 13, verse 51, where it talks about shaking off the dust off our feet and coming to Iconium, which is the image of God. And of course, Acts 13:51 is 2013, and once again, 51 is in play. One of my favorite books of the Bible Psalms 51. That's where we're talking about literal transformation of the old man to the new man, because that's where King David prays, and he says, "Create in me a clean heart, O Lord. Renew a right spirit. Take not thy Holy Spirit from me." Think about that, my friends. The Holy Spirit might be taken from some people. Maybe we're reaching that time, you know. It's hard to say, you know. And if the Holy Spirit departs, then we are truly in darkness. And of course, there's Isaiah 51, which it talks about the Lord coming out of Zion in all righteousness and all glory. 51 times 3 equals 153, which is the total number of fish that the disciples caught when they were fishing when Jesus appeared, maybe for the first or second time after being transfigured, after rising from the dead. They were fishing in a boat, and they caught 153 fish, which is 3 times 51. That's also the number of men that approached Elijah, who threw the fire from God down at him. It was 3 groups of 51. You know, just for the Bible thumpers, the Bible haters, you know, whoever, I read this one website, and I'm going to read this for you here. Actually, no, I left the website, but it actually said there are 51 books to the Bible, and actually the King James Version has 66, but it had a little commentary saying that the 51 books of the Bible were based on divine revelation, and that's what 51 represents as well it represents divine revelation. So they said, hey, on this website, it said there are 24 books in the Old Testament and 27 in the New Testament, which equals 51. So, you know, I'll leave it to all them Bible haters and Bible thumpers and Bible worshipers to try and figure out how 66 becomes 51. So obviously there's a delta there of, what does that work out to? I think it's 15 books, you know. You know, in gematria, you know, the Hebrew language is numeric, so no matter what word you're looking at, it can add up to something. But the word ladder equals 51 in gematria. And the word for Nod, the land of Nod, that's where Cain took off after he left the presence of God. The land of Nod, the Hebrew word is, in the Hebrew dictionary, is number 5113. Once again, 2013, we're turning 51. You know, tomorrow, there's a new moon today and tomorrow. There's a dark moon, and then there's a crescent moon, depending on who you are and what you are. They're both kind of like new moons in a way. But the word moon is mentioned in the Bible 51 times. And you know what? The word cedar tree is mentioned 51 times. And the cedar tree comes out of Assyria. And likewise, Luke 11:51 that I was talking about, where it talks about the blood of the prophets, that it shall be required of this generation. In that same chapter 11, verse 32, it brings up the city of Nineveh, which is in Assyria, which is where those cedar trees are grown. And finally, this one I found most interesting. There's a thing. These are called Neolithic carvings, which are caves with ancient drawings that were drawn by cavemen, you know, ancient men. But there's one called Curbstone 51, and it is a series of 7 suns. 6 of them have a circle around them, and the 7th one doesn't. And they're over there in Ireland. And there's a story. I'm on a website here, which is Mythic Ireland. That's what the website is. I'm sorry. God. But anyway, it tells this story of the Curbstone 51, or Keystone. Was it Curbstone or Keystone? Let me check it out one more time. It was Curbstone. And then here's the story. I'll just read it to you. Try not to take too long. I'll try and be a fast reader here. But the story, because this is what they're saying, is the mythology around the Curbstone 51s. It says Taurus, the Pleiades, spring equinox, and the procession. It is to mythology, and particularly the ancient story about how Douth, which is a city in Ireland, and you know, if you go over to Operation End Times, I've been talking about cities in my last video, which reveals an ancient astronomical symbolism which may help to explain something about the meaning of the place of darkness. The story comes from the Dindishalas, a collection of ancient stories about Irish place names, and concerns Bressil, who was the ruler of the time. And then it says, in his time there fell a murrain on keen in every place in Ireland, except for 7 cows and a bull, that increased in strength for every farmer in his time. By him is built the solid hill in the likeness of Nimrod's tower, so that from it he might pass to heaven. That is the cause why it was undertaken. The story continues to tell how Bressil's sister stopped the sun from moving so that there would be no night but bright day until the work reached completion. Unfortunately, they committed incest and the sun went down. The men of Erin left the task incomplete, saying, since darkness has fallen upon our work, and night has come on, and the day is gone, let each depart to his place. Do bad, darkness shall be the name of this place forever. And you know, my friends, that has just some really interesting parallels. Joshua 10:13 talks about how Joshua held the sun still in the sky, in the midst of the heavens, as he fought the 5 kings, which were all evil spirits, man. You know, I actually have that in my notes, but I won't dive into that. I'll get to that over in Operation End Times. But making the moon and the sun stand still, and the word still means to take a stand. You know, to make a stand. But that happened in Joshua 10:13, and it sounds eerily similar to the story on the Curbstone 51. And, you know, if you saw my blogs tomorrow, the sun aligns with the star Wasat in the constellation of Gemini. It's the arm, the right arm of the twins. And Wasat is known as the midst, the middle of the heavens. So I do believe that's probably the location where both of these stories, when the sun was stopped in the sky, that's where it was. So, does that mean the sun is going to stop tomorrow? Hey, I doubt it. What it might stop is just shining, you know. And whether that's actually physically, you know, who knows. But spiritually, could be a possibility, you know, because, you know, if God's light, if His Holy Spirit isn't dwelling with us, then it truly would be a dark day. But, you know, I'll kind of get to that a little bit later. But the new moon, and for some countries and traditions, it's the crescent moon, which marks the new moon. And the crescent in the Middle East goes from Syria, where all the chaos and death and killing fields are breaking out, all the way down into Egypt. That's known as the crescent. And all hell's breaking loose there, my friends. So, you know, the tribulation is truly upon us. All right, hey, this is Ben Halstead. This is Tribulation 5/15/2011. Hope you all have a blessed day. You know, think positive thoughts, do something nice. Tomorrow is my birthday, and we shall see what will happen. But I just pray and hope myself that I can experience some kind of love and joy on my birthday, and that every and all people everywhere can experience that same love and joy as well. You know, why should it just be me on my birthday? You know, let it be everybody. All right. Hey, God bless y'all.